Hello, Professor Kenny's here, and welcome to week 9. Good job for hanging in there with the course. I did want to just acknowledge that we are past the middle of the course, so I hope that you will email me if you're struggling with anything. I particularly liked your thoughts about the diploma mandala. Some of you said some really, really beautiful things about people you're rooting for in your life and about yourself and the desire to get your diploma. So that was really great. I did also want to say that this week you have the opportunity to give mid-course feedback. Of course, I'm always receptive to feedback from you, but this week there's a discussion where you can talk about how the class is going for you, anything that you need from me specifically personally, or anything that you think could happen differently in terms of the class itself. So if you want like more feedback on your work, less feedback on your work, if you really like the quizzes, but you don't like the videos, or you like the videos, but you feel like you have a hard time turning that into writing, whatever it is that you want to say, feel free to say it there. Now it's optional, so you'll get credit if you write something, and you'll get credit if you don't write anything. So it's 20 free points, but I hope that some of you will take the opportunity to say what's working for you, what's not working for you, so that we can make the rest of our time together as positive as possible. So I just have 2 shout outs for today, which I hope will be helpful as you are working on your essays, on revising your technology essays. So I wanted to shout out both Mohammed and Aaron today for writing really, really strong, well-structured essays, and also use the essays to show you just some little tweaks that they could make, and then really all of you could use to make in your essays about how to make the essays a little bit more specific and just a little bit stronger. So I'm going to read Mohammed's aloud. So Mohammed says, technology has many positive impacts in our society. One form of technology that has a positive effect in our everyday life is computers/internet. It has a range of benefits and provides us with plenty of information in seconds. Computers/laptops are most useful in education, and it became essential for teachers and students. Okay, so we've got 2 points, 2 awesome points in that thesis statement, that they're useful in education, and then particularly education related to teachers and students. And then also Mohammed makes a really good point at the end of his paper about how they are useful for jobs as well. So he should incorporate that into the end of the thesis statement. So then we have the first body paragraph that says, computers have made education easier and bearable. So we can see the really nice correspondence between here, useful in education, and then education has become easier and bearable. Really nice structure on that, right? 3 points, or he has 2 points in his thesis, and then they're followed up in the first sentence of the body paragraphs. So then we get more information. It takes less than a second to Google something and get various forms of information. Computers or laptops are becoming essential in our everyday life. As I'm reading, I'm correcting a little bit of the grammar, but what you're trying to do is get the main gist of what's going on here. For example, almost every college student owns a laptop and takes notes during lectures. Laptops are replacing modern-day notebooks. From personal experience, I take notes in Google Docs and find it convenient because the notes automatically save and help for revising for an exam. Great. So we hear a little bit about some general points about the computer or laptop, and then we learn specifically that laptops are helpful for taking notes. And we even get a little bit of specific information. So I take notes on Google Docs. Okay, but what could happen here is that we could get even more information about this. So he could say something like, last Tuesday, I realized that I needed to get my assignment in really quickly. So I just logged onto Google Docs and was able to upload it for Canvas, and that really saved me time. Or he could say something like, one time I was working on an assignment that was about technology, and I found myself able to use Google Docs in a way that allowed me to get good feedback from my instructor because she got it right away. It allowed me to not have to maybe take a bunch of notes on paper first, or maybe it, gave me a lot of storage for all of the classes that I'm taking, including English, humanities. So the more specific you can get there, the better. You can even talk about specific situations. He could talk about compare a moment when he wasn't using Google Docs with a moment when he was. So there's a really wonderful gesture towards specificity, which many folks didn't have in their papers, but that could even be expanded more. And then finally, what should happen in that paragraph is a link back to the thesis. So you could say all of these specific examples show that my education has been made more bearable because of computers. Okay, so really good job, Muhammad. Really excellent paper. And some of you, do have the specific details, but you're struggling with the structure, and some of you vice versa. The main thing that I think I've noticed is that specific details are missing in the pieces overall. So if you're having the opposite struggle, I did write feedback about that, but we can certainly talk about it more if you send me an email. Okay, so then Erin, another excellent essay, and we're going to read it aloud. In today's world, technology has become a big part of our lives. We live day by day using all kinds of technology. Some people do good with it, but a lot of the time it could have a negative impact. So that's a very nice overall information. We hear that there are two sides to the issue, even though we're going to be moving towards one of those. So, and in this case, the essay is about negatives. Social media is one of those forms of technology. Social media is a distraction to almost everybody, personally, physically, and it plays a big part in our mental health. Social media interferes with all aspects of a lot of people's lives. Great. What she's done here is she has her 3-part thesis and then a sort of summary of the thesis statement. I would suggest, and in fact, I did suggest moving this statement up there, so that we know that the thesis statement is the last sentence of the intro paragraph. There's actually it's not wrong to do it the way that she did it, but it's a little bit helpful for the reader to have the specific thesis statement at the very end. Okay, so then we see lovely correspondence here, personally, right? Personally, and then we have personally right here. Some of you have changed the language slightly as long as it has the same idea in your topic sentences, but you can repeat that language directly if you need to. It's effective. It's helpful for the reader to actually see the repetition of the thesis statement into the topic sentences. So then we have an example. So personally, it affects relationships. There's this thing called DMs and Messenger. It's private messages that are inside of the apps that you can only see. This is where anything can happen and where the cheating begins. It interferes with your job and your work performance. I've personally seen this happen when a coworker stops doing what they were doing just to check social media because they feel like they are missing something. Excellent. So I would just expand that story more. So some of you may feel like, wait, I don't know if I can do that. Maybe that betrays the trust of the person I'm talking about. You can change names, it doesn't matter. But you might say, yesterday in my job at Target, I saw my coworker Sue check her phone and then, walk into the clothing or miss out on what a customer was saying, or, whatever the job may be. You want to actually really give specific to the moment details. It's like the Natalie Goldberg article, Be Specific. You can give people names, talk about that situation, and then again, link it back to the thesis and talk about how it affects relationships. So if the person checked their social media and then couldn't have a relationship with a customer, a working business relationship with a customer because of it, then you would say that. You'd say relationships in the workplace can suffer when customers do not feel attended to, something like that. Or whatever the case may be. Maybe it's like coworkers in an office, whatever. You put what's true and what's real for you. So I'm very pleased with folks who turn their papers in. I think that everyone's making good progress. It's clear that you looked at the video, you got some ideas about structure, and you're taking those good skills that you learned from the other work that we've done into this work as well. If you have questions or concerns, please do email me. There are, I would say, maybe 5 or 6 of you who have not yet turned in your essays. So it's really important that you either communicate with me to let me know why you haven't turned it in, or turn it in and I'll give you feedback. Remember, no matter what, on your drafts you're going to get 100, but you'll see where you can improve and you'll see what your grade would be if you didn't make any changes. So make sure to look at all 3 forms of feedback that I give you: the rubric, the overall narrative comment, and then the comments that I've made in the margins. Good job, everyone. Thanks very much.